For every product, there is a process in which you have to take to create it. I am going to share with you my process for writing a screenplay. My process when it comes to writing a screenplay may be different from yours, but so far, this is what I've found has worked for me. I will start with some idea. For this particular project, I thought, well, wouldn't it be kind of fun to tell a story that takes place underneath a bed? From my ideas, I come up with a concept. The concept never is just the initial idea that I started with. To get to my concept, I will write my idea down and then I will deconstruct it. Do you ever remember diagramming sentences when you were in grade school? Finding what the subject is, the verb, the noun, the adjective, the prepositional phrase, everything there, the direct object, all of the elements in diagramming a sentence. I attempt to do something like that in developing my concept. My main thing that I'm looking for is a main character, opposition, what will happen if they do not achieve it. I heard someone say once that a good concept that will catch the ear of a studio exec is a story about a person that wishes something will never happen, happens. So it's something along those lines. I use my character, the opposition, and the results of what's going to happen if they don't achieve their goal. Have my concept idea, I come up with those elements, and then I just brainstorm the heck out of it. I will choose a school teacher, and then I'll decide that maybe it's going to be a military general, and then maybe it's an ice cream shop worker, or a barista, or a waiter at the local diner. Maybe it's a taco truck stand worker person. Or maybe it's a cop and they're chasing robbers in a getaway. I'll have looked for every single possible idea, combine the two, mix and match, till I come up with something that I feel best represents my initial idea. Sometimes it ends up not even being close to my idea. For this particular project, I had an idea of a location and I wanted to tell a story in a location. And since I'm also, in essence, the executive producer on this project, I figure I'm going to give myself an assignment of writing to the concept that the studio or the company wants to create. So the company wanted to create the story under a bed. It was my job to come up with a high concept that would take place under the bed. It might be different for you. You might have some other idea, and maybe you're just coming up with something for your screenplay. The idea is to find what's best for the story, and if you don't hash it out and you don't exhaust every possibility, you may not know if you have the best idea possible. And heck, if you don't like what you've come up with and you like your original concept better, oh well, you've now got billions of other concepts that you've just created off of that, right? Where's the harm in that? After I've created my concept, I then go to the characters and what their goals are. I'll come up with ideas for characters, and I'll just come up with the basic ones, like it's a school teacher, it's a police officer, it's a barista, come up with all of the different things, and I've likely come up with these characters in my concept. When I have who my main characters are, is maybe I've got my protagonist, my antagonist, maybe a supporting character, the characters that I know are going to be the core of my story. And I give each one of them a goal. Not like, hey, I want to go get some coffee today, but an overarching goal that's going to be their purpose throughout the entire movie. There's going to be mini goals all throughout it, but I need one very concise, very simple, clear-cut goal that is going to be their objective from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. That they're always focused on that. And the goal, ideally, is going to cause a 180-degree shift. I want to lose weight. Bam, they've shifted. They've created their goal from having weights to lose to having lost it, or completely failing. I don't know what kind of story you're telling. Is it a tragedy? Sure. Maybe it's not. Maybe they want to eat all the ice cream in the world because the planet is hurling towards the sun, and that's all you can do in a few seconds. Characters' goals. So we've got our idea, created our concept, and from figuring out who our main characters are, we've given each one of them goals. Granted, this isn't like a couple minutes or an hour to process. I might spend 2-3 weeks on just figuring out what the concept is. The goal, likely just as long. And the characters, just as long. I don't want to leave any stone unturned, and I also don't want to go into a project having no idea what I'm doing. I want a direction, and I want to know what tools I'm going to be using to apply to this, so I'm not hitting a brick wall going, now what do I write? And then I go back and read it, and I don't have anything interesting in it.